Hi, my name is Nina Lucas, and I am a professor and chair of the Department of Theater and Dance, and I'm honored to introduce you to Adarian Sneed. Majoring in business and minoring in theater, Adarian is what we call in our show business a triple threat: a dancer, a singer, and an actress. She's a recipient of the Presidential Scholarship in Theater, and she's one of the most sought after actors in our department. She's performed in at least 5 of our main stage productions and in the North Carolina Black Repertory Company's musical, Jelly's Last Jam. After graduation, she plans to move to New York as a marketing analyst at American Express and continue to explore her performance opportunities. Her oration is titled Everything Changes, Nothing Remains the Same. Adarian.
Change. My grandma used to say, everything changes, nothing remains the same. She would say this quite often, and it makes me think about the influence it had on my life. For many, change is a challenging thing. For college students, it is not only challenging, but also inevitable. In order for me to be where I am today, a change had to be made. My family means everything to me. When I was a senior in high school, I knew I wanted to branch out, but I also didn't want to be too far away from home either. Being from New Jersey, North Carolina was the perfect distance, just a 2-hour plane ride away, but far enough to let me step into my independence. Even though I knew this was the right change, I was scared. Freshman year, I worried about moving into a new chapter of life with so many unknowns to face. Now, today, being a senior in college, I'm ecstatic that I overcame the fear of change and went for it. Reflecting on this made me think of a better way to approach the fear of change. Change is bound to happen, and what it looks like is out of our control. So if I've learned something over the past 4 years, it is not to be afraid of change. Instead, take it as it comes, because each and every change lends itself to the evolution of our lives. Change is growth. I came to Wake Forest as a presidential scholar for theater. Over the years, I have noticed that my skills have changed as a performer. I've been singing since I was about 5 years old. And for all my musicians and performers, I would be known as an alto, sometimes a tenor when they needed it. I've always felt I could sing higher notes, but since I was capable of hitting those powerful lower notes, I always stayed in that vocal range. It wasn't until college that I began to explore my ability to sing in a higher register. My first voice teacher at Wake Forest was Professor Teresa Radomski. Following her, I studied with Professor Brian Groman and Professor Elizabeth Pacheco Rose. In addition to all these professors, I've also had support from my uncle, Al Sneed, ever since I was young. My uncle, Al Sneed, he opened my eyes to the magic of theater, and still to this day, helps me with my vocal training as well. Because of the collection of names that I have mentioned, I am now hitting notes that I only dreamed were possible, but notes that Wake was able to make a reality for me. I'll be honest with you though, those first few lessons of my trying to hit high notes, I probably sounded like a struggling cat. As a vocalist and an artist, I was scared. I often wondered if I was truly capable. Should I stop trying? Will I ever change? With time, patience, and my professor's compassion, I did. Now I feel comfortable going to auditions and proudly letting them know I can sing soprano, alto, and tenor if needed. Change is painful. I've always enjoyed writing. Getting my thoughts together and then putting them into a collection of words that flow together almost like a song is a pretty great experience. Over the years, I've written many essays and stories for school, but no matter what the writing was for, the best part was when I finished. That's when I would call my grandma and read her what I had written. My grandma, Mrs. Pearline M. Sneed, was born in Lumberton, North Carolina. She moved to New Jersey in the 70s and had 3 beautiful children. One of them who would grow to be the most beautiful and supportive mother in the world, my mother, April Sneed. Together they raised me. My grandma, who I call Ema, was my best friend. Ever since I was little, we could laugh and talk for hours on end. Ema was the first person in her family to attend college. She was also a retired educator for many years, so she absolutely loved anything about education, especially Wake Forest. She was so proud of me for going here and all the things that I accomplished. Last month, I told her I was nominated to write an essay. As always, she was so proud and would frequently check in on me to see if I was working on it. Unfortunately, she transitioned on December 26, 2021, the day after Christmas. I wrote this piece a week after her passing, and as I sat there finishing my last few words, I felt heavy. A change had occurred. I could not pick up the phone like usual and read to her my finished piece. That was hard. That change was painful. As I've stated, change is inevitable. It is bound to happen. But what I've learned is that change is what causes life to evolve. It may not feel the same, but it can still have qualities of what it once was. So I write these words in her honor and read them to the heavens so she can still hear. Change is growth. Change is painful. Change is today, yesterday, and tomorrow. During my time at college, I've gotten to know change so well that I gladly welcome it. I feel ready to navigate it, to love it, to hate it, to cherish it, and to grow from it. And after today, I hope you do too. Thank you.